everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel for day 1290 of our daily content grind, and it is the final time we will be starting a news roundup with Report on Legacy HasLab Liokaiser Combiner. This is the final hours of the campaign as of this recording. The funding ends in just over 4 hours. A final reminder. There is no getting this at retail. This is not a crowdfunded thing to make sure that it actually makes it to full production. No. This is made to order. If your order is not in the next 4 hours, 15 minutes, and 45 seconds, you will not be able to get one of these for $300. Get ready to pay like a good $500 or $600 on the aftermarket once it does come out. But most people are aware of that, some are not, so I have to do the reminder every single time we talk about a HasLab. Now that said, we are currently sitting at 22,167 backers, which is getting real close to matching, some of the more successful HasLabs, your Star Saber, your Death Saurus especially. So good to see Victory is still winning there. We'll do a whole video breakdown of the entire campaign and everything that we're getting tomorrow once it is officially done. And all of us have been charged an extra $300 from Hasbro. But just as a quick reminder, the display stand did officially unlock. We are getting literally everything. Death Cobra, we are getting the nunchuck, we are getting the display stand, which does separate into 3 individual stands, so you can replicate the 3 on the ground, 3 in the sky shot of the team from the Victory opening. We are getting this as fully featured as possible. Now, we don't know if they're doing any kind of secret bonus like they did with the previous HasLabs. Don't count on it because this set is already doing a lot. And I'm not entirely sure what they would throw in as a bonus anyway. No, they're not going to throw in a whole new Voyager class toy just to get Lysak in or something, because she's not the right size for the set anyway. Point being, I think we've pretty much gotten everything we can possibly get from the Liokaiser. But that doesn't mean that it isn't done. Hasbro announced some updates to the design, so keep in mind, the CADs and the physical models that we have been seeing so far have all been early production work. They are still working on and refining the designs and improving them, and basically all the members of the teams have received some level of improvement that they talked about on a video recently. Leozak, for instance, does have an upgrade now where he has added panels to the vehicle mode to hide his head when he's in jet mode. Those same panels are going to cover up a part on Liokaiser's chest to hide a few screws. So both jet mode and the Liokaiser combination are going to look a little bit cleaner than they originally were designed to. Great little addition from Hasbro there. For Skyhawk and Elbat, they have redone the way their bodies connect to their breast force member. Namely, there are no longer handles sticking out like outie belly buttons anymore. So they've re-engineered that to work properly, which is great to see. Cleans them up a lot. Really nice. We've also updated the shoulders. So originally, one of the things that bugged me about the design on Liokaiser is that little shoulder bits just kind of hung off the front and kind of dangled in front of the bicep. They've re-engineered how the shoulders work. Now those extra parts fold back instead of forward, which means they will end up on the back side of Liokaiser and behind the wings. They are no longer going to be obstructing the direction of the arm, which is a great thing to hear. See, moving on. We have Jaruga here, where they have indicated that that big block that will become the pelvis of Liokaiser is going to be resculpted to actually look like a missile battery and be painted as such, so it looks like a giant weapon on the back of his vehicle mode. Good improvement there. We kind of expected that, but none of the physical prototypes had shown it yet, so good to know that we're getting that as well. Drillhorn and Killbison are getting wheels. People noticed that there were no wheels attached to their tank treads. Well, they are going to have them now. No word on the biggest thing about these that bother me, which is those weird shoulder strut things that they have engineered on them. Those are not fun. Don't like those. And then for Death Cobra, we have not only, I keep saying we, they have added thigh rotation, which was not in the original sculpt, so they have fixed that. But also for the cannon mode, they had made sure that there are ports for all of the breast force members, the little breast animals, to connect onto the cannon mode to make it even more heavily armed. Keep in mind, the original Liokaiser doesn't technically have any place for those animals to go. So it's really, really nice to see that they figured out something to do, something interesting with them anyway. If anything, it'll be hysterical to see Death Cobra just kind of swarmed by these things in vehicle mode. But they made it very clear that this is a constant production piece. They are still growing it. They're still designing and perfecting it. Everything we've seen so far has been mid-production. So to know that they're still working on it does give me hope for things like Kill Bison's weird tank mode and both tank boys having these weird strut shoulders. Good to see that we are getting the progress though. And I'm glad they're being upfront about it too. Let's take a look at some new toys, shall we? So we're starting to find Age of the Primes Wave 1 in stores. I found the Voyagers, but none of my stores had managed to stock anything else, unless I wanted to drive 30 minutes out of my way, which I did not. But that's old news. People are now getting their hands on Wave 2. This is in like the typical early locations for releases. So Sky-Byte here in package, looking beautiful. We can see him out of package in human hands now. The shoulders are on 5mm ports, meaning you can remove that big kibble if that is obstructing, if you do not like that, which is a great little thing to be able to include. Yeah, see, the stands about Voyager height. That's 86 Optimus Prime, who's like a large Voyager scale without the trailer and all that. There's Earthrise Optimus, so you get an idea. He's a little bit taller, maybe like right around the exact same head height, maybe a tiny bit taller than Earthrise Prime, though he's much skinnier in a lot of his proportions. I'm saying like by head height. I know that Mohawk towers over everybody. It's looking like a fantastic update, and we know they put a lot of work in to make sure you had things like the bendable neck, the waving tail. Like, this is like a much more functional beast mode than we have seen before, and I still love the extensive amount of paint that they got onto that shark mode. I did not expect them to even get that close. I know the little dot lights are gone. I don't care. This is still way more detail than I expected them to go to. Looking amazing. I'm so happy with this toy. I'm so looking forward to this figure. Compared, yeah, to the Thrilling 30. Yeah, it's kind of night and day. The Thrilling 30 one's a fun toy, but man, like when you do a proper Sky-Byte, it really does show just how different they went with that design. Yeah, and there's the two side by side, very different looks from each other. One ended up like the Thrilling 30 ended up being the evergreen version of Sky-Byte. That's the one that tends to pop up in the cartoons, and it's going to be there in Cyber World as well. This one I'm really, really looking forward to. Really looking forward to. Back kibble handled a little bit cleaner than the original toy too. Looks like it double hinges over rather than the other one just kind of like flopping around. Yeah, very, very nice toy. Same person got their hands on Heatwave, and I understand this is not entirely accurate to how Heatwave looks because the belly's too big. I still think this is the best use of that bulkhead mold. This is still the version of it that I would be the happiest to have because I do think this body does fit him, even if the midsection is too big. It looks good. Like it definitely looks better than I would expect. It looks better than the other things they attempted to do with that mold, including its original intent of bulkhead. Not as many photos of that, but then again, we've gotten this toy several times already. You don't need to see it a terrible amount. Just nice to know that the Rescue Bot's got a pretty good figure out of this, and hopefully more on the way. You know, because Hasbro's all about completing those sets, you know? We've only got 2 of the OGs now. We need 2 more. What would you even do? What would you even do? Like, you've already got 1 bulldozer. Like, you could do Armada Scavenger, but they look almost exactly alike. We'll get there. Target put up the pre-order for their what was supposed to be 86 Perceptor, and even though it is Studio Series, it technically does not have the 86 mark on it because none of the Studio Series toys are numbered anymore, which is kind of a shame because they got pretty high in the numbering. It was cool for a while. So what is technically 86 Perceptor? It is from the Transformers the movie series, now part of something called the More Than Meets the Eye collection. Essentially, it is a brand new repaint and retool of the previous Perceptor toy. No translucent plastic, more cartoon accurate colors, and apparently a minor remold to make him look a little bit bulkier. I think that's just making the shoulders stick out a little bit more, because that's what's popping to me, is the fact that the shoulders are sticking out off the body a little bit more than I remember them doing. Mine's around the corner on my shelf. I can't quite see it from here. But the shots that they took, the actual shots here, showed off something that I don't remember seeing in the original stock photos, and that is the fact that you're going to have to cheat on both of the bots in order to get all of their parts on. So we can see, there's Ratbat and Ramhorn. Ratbat we've had previously. He just has a new backpack that has his engine parts. And then Ramhorn, his tail and his guns, and thus parts of his back, are all one piece that comes off and becomes that double barrel missile launcher that Perceptor is holding there. Kind of a interesting way of giving them a weapon gimmick, so they actually have a little bit more playability between each other. It does mean Ramhorn is going to have to cheat his transformation a little bit, the same way that, unfortunately, Steeljaw does. That comes from the cassettes being so much smaller than the original ones were. So it's a little bit cheaty, but hey, Ramhorn has desperately needed a new toy for a long time. Congratulations, he's going to make it back in. Yolo Park showed off something new. This is a crossover with New Era to put out a version of their Optimus Prime AMK Pro model kit, and it's looking pretty impressive. So the hat is fine. It's a cool hat, but the idea here is black and gold, and it is a beautiful black and gold. I kind of like that they decided not to just replace Prime's color scheme 1 for 1. The lower arms being gold is a little bit different. And the overall color, the overall look to it is a little bit different than we're used to out of Black Primes. It's gaudy. Don't get me wrong, it's gaudy. It's a mix between Golden Lagoon and Dead, but it's not a bad look. I'm not sure, this is one of those where if you could tell me this is some weird clone of Optimus similar to Toxitron or in some cases Nemesis Prime, I believe you. This could strike me as a Prime of a slightly different character. Looks good though, maybe not up my alley per se, but I know people who are going to be instantly down for this the second it is available. So good luck to you if you're absolutely in the need for it. Flame Toys also showed off a black repaint, and this is their Black Arcee. Now, this is obviously, by this promo shot, this is one of those cheesecake action figures that is aimed at a particular type of fan. I am not such type of fan. I will not begrudge you if you enjoy it. It is just not my thing. I will focus on the fact that the color scheme is very striking. There's very little pink to her, but it's hitting just enough to get that color in effectively. And it does have a really, really good appearance as such. I might not agree with the sculpt, but the paint job on it definitely looks really, really impressive. It's just something about those little hits of a super bright color amidst all the black looks really, really cool. So I will give them that. This is a really, really cool deco, even if this is not my kind of toy. But if you're out there and this is your kind of thing and you like your Flame Toys model kits, you got someone else to build soon. Like, do we have a price and date on that? Does not look like it. Yeah, they're showing her off for now. Skybound is just flexing at this point. So now we have more reprints of the first issues of Void Rivals and Transformers, except both of them are now sound chip editions, meaning that when you open the cover, it's going to play sound effects, kind of like a greeting card. So you're going to get the transformation sound when opening the book, which is kind of cool. Don't know if that's the same. It says like different sound in Transformers 1 and in Void Rivals number 1. Might be variations of the traditional conversion noise, because there are a few. There's a few in G1, and then there's the ones that have come afterwards. Point being, yes, it's another reprint for Transformers 1 and Void Rivals 1. Congratulations, Skybound. The books are doing incredible if you can do ridiculous things like this. You're waiting till September for those to arrive if you want your super fancy version of issue 1. We've got a bunch of updates from Blokees. We will be hearing from our friends at Blokees soon enough, by the way. We will be doing a little bit more with them soon, so keep an eye out. But we have a promo image for the Devastator that they are going to be making as part of their Galaxy Defender version. Those are the super mini ones that we covered on the channel not too long ago. They covered the vehicle modes of certain characters, and they're doing the vehicle modes of the Constructicons so that we can get a Blokees or Blokees, I still need to confirm that pronunciation, Devastator, who looks pretty good. He looks pretty good considering he's just a super tiny guy. This should have an interesting scale. If you've got like the standard Blokees size, this should be an interesting scale for those. Keeps, like, I think it'll keep to like the spirit of the uniform look, even though he will be a little bit taller than the rest. Should look good. Should make a nice little centerpiece for a series, and like this will take multiple editions of Galaxy Defender to get everything. So I don't know, this will be like a little centerpiece for your Blokees. Very, very nice. I'm looking forward to seeing the whole thing in color. That's not all though. Galaxy version 7 is on the way. It is series 2 of their Transformers 1, and we know that Shockwave and Soundwave are going to be part of it. So if we're doing that, then I need to see Alita 1. I need to see Starscream. We are overdue on Arachnid. Arachnid needs some kind of representation here in the toys. Beyond that, man, who else is left? So every wave gets an Optimus or Megatron, so we'll probably get a variation on Orion packs, and we'll probably get a proper Megatron because the previous one was cogged to D16. We might get both of them completely uncogged this time. You never know. But there's always an Optimus, and there's usually a Megatron, so I'm expecting those two. I would expect, let's say, either Jazz, maybe Arcee, if we're doing all the girls in this wave. Curious. I'm curious what the rest of the lineup's going to be. But hopefully it completes enough of the cast to where, like, if this is the last run of these, because judging from my shop, the Transformer 1s are not as popular as the others. Hopefully this completes enough of the cast to go, like, yeah, I'm satisfied with just these. And then do me like an entire wave of Deathstalkers. But that's not all. Blokees Action Edition has teased they are doing a Soundwave. So Blokees does a large-scale kit for Optimus Prime that's actually really, really good. But this is the first follow-up that we have seen from it, and Soundwave's an interesting choice, skipping by Megatron completely here. Again, looking forward to seeing this in full color when they are ready to actually show it off properly. Should look really, really good. And to wrap it up, our friends over at the Sunbow Marvel Archive have shown off some more stuff that they have unearthed, which includes the entirety of the character binder for the 86 cast of the series, which is cool. You get the prototype names of a lot of like the original designations of what the product line is going to be. No real revelations as far as like, oh, this is what they were originally named. Seems like all the names were pretty much in place. First aid is marked for some reason under Skylinks. Odd. But yeah, you get character sheets, you get the original design. There's head sculpt number 1 that originally got cut out. Yeah, I love little history stuff like this. And this is just sample stuff. There's, what was it? 186 pages worth. So if you like your Transformer history, go check them out. And that is going to do it for us this week. So there's your news. As always, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.